Fox.
Their slim playoff chances alive, but must deal with their bitter rivals from the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles. Dick Stockton and Matt Millen are ready to bring you all the action, so let's send you on out to suburban Maryland for today's game.
Jack Kent Cooke Stadium on a splendid day for football and the final regular season game. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins, but the game means a lot more for the Redskins. They need a victory and either a Lion or Viking loss or tie to make the playoffs for the first time under Norv Turner. And good afternoon, everyone. Along with Matt Millen, I'm Dick Stockton, and the Redskins stumbled last week. What do they need to do to get it done in a game they must win today?
Well, I think this one comes down to leadership. When you talk about leadership, you have to rely on some elder guys, and that's going to be Jeff Hostetler. Now, you have to remember what was Hostetler 2 weeks ago, and that's what they're going to try to rely on today, the leadership that he gave them against Arizona.
Now, the Eagles have not won on the road. They are eliminated, of course. They have a few things to play for today, but also a chance to look ahead.
I think looking ahead is the biggest thing. First of all, you know with Ray Rhodes that you're going to get a hard-fought game, and then you also know that he's going to try to win the game. Now, within that framework, you're going to look at some people. The biggest guy they're going to look at is Deuce Staley, number 22, the running back, and then Bobby Hoying, the quarterback. They have a pretty good idea of what Hoying is, but they want to see under fire against two good corners what he really's got.
And just a little while ago, the changing of the guard. Darrell Green, who broke Monty Coleman's all-time Redskin record for playing 217 last week, took the field. Coming up, the Eagles and the Redskins.
Stadium.
Philadelphia Eagles have dominated lately. Most of the matchups have been close, but earlier this year on October the 5th, the Eagles were impressive in beating the Redskins 24-10. The Eagles have won the toss, and they'll get the ball first. The newest member of the Redskins, Chris Jackie, the Super Bowl kicker for the Packers last year. There is Deuce Staley, the rookie, who Matt referred to. He'll be back along with Mel Gray to return the opening kickoff. And it'll be Deuce Staley at the 9-yard line for the Eagles. And the rookie from South Carolina carries it out to close to the 35-yard line. Bobby Hoying, who is unquestionably the quarterback now and of the future for the Eagles. 2-2-1 as a starter with some impressive comebacks. Jerry Crafts and Troy Drake, new people on the right side, although Crafts did see action for Ian Beckles last week. Ricky Waters, the main man. Irving Fryer going to the Pro Bowl. Chris T. Jones getting a chance today to start. First and 10 at the 30-yard line. And Hoying stumbles as he hands off to Ricky Waters, who gets about 3 and moves the pile. They'll give him actually 5 yards on the play. Defensively for the Redskins, Owens Boutte, Ryan Keel starting his second game at defensive tackle, and rookie Kennard Lang. Derek Smith, another rookie who has been impressive this year. Ken Harvey going to the Pro Bowl. Darrell Green, Stanley Richard, Jesse Campbell, and Chris Dishman in the secondary, with Green and Dishman the outstanding people there. Second down and 5. And a mix-up. And Kennard Lang is going to get Hoying for a loss on the play back to about the original line of scrimmage.
Well, it's clear what the Philadelphia Eagles want to try to get done here right away, and that set the tone in the running game and that offensive line. And here's the key for the Philadelphia Eagles today. They're going to win this game. They're going to have to win with this group right up front here, because the Washington Redskins are not real strong in their downline people. So you have to take advantage of it.
Third down and 9 on the opening possession. Hoying getting a rush, loses the ball, fumble, and the Redskins have it. Darrell Pounds is going to run it in for the touchdown.
Darrell Pounds came off the slot on the blitz, slapped the ball out of his hand from behind, picked it up, and scored. Darrell Pounds did the whole thing. They're able to free him up because of Dishman and Green. Because Dishman and Green can line up outside and effectively go man-to-man, Pounds is able to come off the corner untouched. And then watch, here's the slap. Ball comes out, flops around. Pounds is there, picks it up, and takes it in for 6.
And for Darrell Pounds, who runs it in 19 yards for the score, his second touchdown of the season. The nickel cornerback for the Eagles, and the new kicker Chris Jackie with the extra point. So less than 2 minutes gone by, and the Redskins lead 7-0.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. By Porsche, who wish to remind you there is no substitute. By IBM, solutions for a small planet. And by Texaco, a world of energy.
The Redskins draw early blood with a 7-0 lead over Philadelphia. Darrell Pounds, who caused a fumble, picked it up and ran for the touchdown. The third defensive TD by the Redskins this year. Chris Jackie will be kicking off for the second time, and a low line drive kick. Jason Dunn returning for Philadelphia, and the tight end brings it beyond the 40-yard line. Good field position, and a return of 17.
You see Darrell Pounds out here. Here's the key. See, Ricky Waters has to look inside, which frees him, but then you're man-to-man outside, and Stanley Richard is going to be able to take the slot Irving Fryer, and there's your key. You look outside, there's nothing there. You look down below, there's nothing there. That, coupled with the fact that Ricky Waters has to jump up inside, frees Pounds, and he gets your sack.
1st and 10 for the Eagles on the 40-yard line. Irving Fryer goes in motion, watched by Chris Dishman, and here is Ricky Waters with a good hole off the right side, and he charges his way to a first down into Redskin territory and a pickup of 13.
Now, out of this I formation with Ricky Waters running the football, the one guy you have to be able to watch is the fullback, 34. See Kevin Turner right there? See, he had his eyes on the 8th man walked up, and that's Jesse Campbell, 37.
Kevin Turner goes out. Deuce Staley has come in at the running back position with 3 wide receivers on first down. And the give is to Ricky Waters, and Waters is tackled from behind, and a gain of 4 yards.
Dick, one of the things that the Philadelphia Eagles wanted to do in this game, see, they know you have Dishman and Green, and so you're going to have tight coverage outside. But what you also have is a mismatch in your underneath coverage with Ricky Waters, Charlie Garner, and Deuce Staley. So you try to exploit, when you do throw the ball, the underneath coverage of the Redskins.
That's what the Eagles did so effectively in their first meeting. 2nd down and 6. And a fake pointing under a great rush, and the pass incomplete. Intended for Jimmy Johnson, the tight end, and good pressure that time inside from Mark Boutte.
And Mark Boutte came, and the reason it happened is because they came with a blitz inside, and Boutte comes to the outside. You just see back inside. Troy Drake runs, trying to block down inside, and it turns into numbers. You only have so many guys who can block. So when somebody who comes who's not accounted for, somebody else comes clean.
Again, 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 6. Here comes the blitz. Stanley Richard coming in, and a pass.
Oh, boy.
Nearly intercepted by Jesse Campbell, and you wonder whether the sun got in his eyes, the way he handled that.
I think Stanley Richard got in his eyes, in the quarterback's eyes, because Mike Nolan, very aggressive here right at the start. He's bringing lots of people, and he's putting pressure on the young quarterback early, which is a good plan with a young guy. You want to get in his head as fast as you can.
Tom Hutton will be kicking, and Brian Mitchell goes back deep for the Redskins. Looks like the Redskins wanted to block that one. Good kick by Hutton, but it'll go into the end zone for a touchback. And a crisp start for the Redskins, especially their defense. They lead it 7-0. Stadium, 3 minutes gone by. The Redskins lead 7-0, and Jeff Hostetler making his 3rd consecutive start. Struggled last week against the New York Giants. And the same offensive line, and that's been a rarity for the Redskins, starting again this week. Stephen Davis replacing Allen at running back, who is still hurt. He's missing his 3rd game in a row. 1st and 10 at the 20. Good protection for Hostetler, and the pass knocked away from Albert Connell, who is making his first NFL start. Defensively for the Eagles, rookie Edward Jasper is starting at defensive tackle. They've also lost Rhett Hall. Jeff Herrod, 9-year starter with the Colts, will begin in the middle. They've been banged up. Willie Clark starting at quarterback for the injured Charles Dimry. And Bobby Taylor went out earlier in the season. So the whole defensive unit has been banged up all year. 2nd down and 10. And here is Davis carrying, and he gets it to about the 23.
Washington Redskins, again, almost kind of identical game plans, I think. I think both these teams think that they match up well up front. And it's not like it's a strength on strength. Really, it's a matter of kind of a weakness on a weakness. And you're going to try to see which weakness is stronger.
Joe Patton limps off the field, so we talked about this line being intact for at least 2 weeks, and there you see, after two plays, Brad Badger, a rookie, will replace him. So it'll be 3rd down and 7. Been that way. There is Badger, rookie from Stanford. 3rd down and 7. Hostetler on a blitz. Farmer came in from his linebacker's position. The pass is incomplete. And we're seeing a load of blitzes early on, Matt.
You're getting a lot. And Emmett Thomas and Mike Nolan are giving you a lot of different looks. They put Al Wallace lined up outside. They take Mamula from the other side. And then they just bring Ray Farmer. And it's about attacking protections. Sometimes it's a matter of numbers. You just don't have enough people to get there.
Matt Turk, who fumbled a snap, which resulted in a Giant score in the disaster last week. The kick, Mel Gray, the veteran, is back. And Gray misjudged it. Picks it up finally on a good bounce at the 20, and Mel Gray will bring it to the 31-yard line. A 57-yard kick by Turk. And here is the pressure that Ray Farmer put on the veteran Jeff Hostetler. We'll be right back. Redskins needing a win and some help today to get into the playoffs. The Eagles will start from the 31-yard line. Kelvin Kinney has replaced Rich Owens at defensive end for the Redskins. And the handoff is to Deuce Staley. And they're going to get a look, as Matt Millen said, at the rookie from South Carolina, and an impressive 1st down gain of 12 yards on the play. Difference in the game thus far. Inauspicious start for the Eagles. Bobby Hoying has the ball knocked away after the sack by Darrell Pounds, who ran it in for the touchdown. It went the other way for the Redskins last week in losing to the Giants. But they're on the front end of the turnover story thus far. 1st down for the Eagles on their 43, and here is Staley again. And Deuce Staley gets good yardage on 1st down, nearly 5 yards on the play. The Indianapolis Colts lead the Minnesota Vikings 7-0, and that is good news for the Redskins, because a Viking loss and a Redskin win will give them one of the 3 wild card berths, and also give the Detroit Lions a wild card berth as well. A score we're going to be following, of course, throughout the afternoon.
I'll tell you this right now, if the Washington Redskins defensive line doesn't pick up their play, that's not going to make a bit of difference.
Ricky Waters back in the game, and he gets very little. Call it a yard. Will bring up 3rd and short for Philadelphia.
The Philadelphia Eagle offensive line is just coming off the ball well. And then the thing that you're noticing is that after the initial hit, that pile keeps moving forward. Deuce Staley on 1st down, heck, got hit at 8, took it to 12. And then the next 1st down, got hit at 3 and took it to 6.
Extra backs come in for the Redskins. They have their dime defense in. 3rd down and 3 at midfield. Irving Fryer in motion. And Bobby Hoying is going to go to Fryer. He's got a 1st down inside the 40-yard line and tackled by Leamon Evans inside the 35, and a gain of 17.
That's on Chris Dishman. You're going to watch what Dishman does. He anticipates Irving Fryer to go through inside in the traffic. So he's going to try to jump across. And just by doing that, Irving Fryer uses it against him. So much of what the Philadelphia Eagles do is a lot of crossing routes. They make you, as a defensive back, have to work through a lot of stuff inside. And then when you start to anticipate it, they use it against you.
Number 80, a big weapon for the Eagles, and the handoff is to Ricky Waters. And Waters doesn't get much. That will bring up 2nd and long. And right now, let's go down on the field to Brett Haber. Brett?
All right, guys, Joe Patton on that last series of plays sprained the left knee. He's listed as probable, although he was shaking his head no when the trainer asked him if he was ready to go. And remember, this is an offensive line that's already hurt. Trey Johnson, a great run-blocking lineman, already out. Back to you guys upstairs.
All right, Brett, thank you very much. Trey Johnson, who had arthroscopic surgery on his shoulder. Actually, both shoulders have been hurting him. 2nd down and 10 with under 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. Redskins lead 7-0. Hoying gets pressure, and trying to make a tough catch is the tight end Chad Lewis.
Well, they're going with 8-man fronts, and so what you have to do is you have to throw against that 8-man front. And so Chad Lewis is working, trying to run back underneath, and you draw, what you really draw is Darrell Green. And then they tried to swing the fullback down the side, and there was nothing there. If you can get a 6'6" Chad Lewis against a 5'8" Darrell Green, heck, throw it up and see what happens.
But the Redskins are not giving Bobby Hoying much time at all. He is 1 for 4 for only 17 yards. 3rd down and 10. Four receivers go out, and this pass caught at the 25-yard line, short of the first down, and making the reception, Chris T. Jones.
A lot of mix-up. You saw a lot. You're getting a lot of man coverage. Now they give you zone. They had you back 3rd and long, so they're going to flood your field back there with no place to throw. You put a lot of defenders back there and make the young rookie see it, number one, and then try to use the big arm to get it in, which he did.
Chris T. Jones has played in only 3 games coming into this game. Twice has had knee surgery this year. And Mike Nolan's very aggressive early defense for the Redskins.
They're going to have to be aggressive here. The Eagles going for it on 4th down.
They need about a yard, maybe less. And here is Ricky Waters, and Waters may have the first down.
I like what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing. This goes back to this comes down to how tough are you. And I have always believed that every team has to have toughness. You've got to have toughness up front. If you don't have it, you have no shot at all.
There's Ray Rhodes, who will not be in the playoffs for the first time since he's been head coach after 2 10-6 years.
And Ray Rhodes has toughness. I mean, I was coached by Ray Rhodes in San Francisco, and I know he understands what that is all about. And you don't have to have the tough guy who can beat everybody up. You just have to have a guy who's willing to be tough. As long as you're willing, you got a chance.
Many times it's inner toughness. We've seen a lot of coaches have that. First down by the Eagles, who trail 7-0. And here is Ricky Waters trying to go outside, and Waters is tackled by Kennard Lang after a gain of 3 yards. Ricky Waters, who has gone over the 1,000-yard mark for the 3rd time in a row. He is the first Eagle running back ever to accomplish that.
A lot of talk about whether Ricky Waters will be back or not next year. And as you can see, it's his 7th season out of Notre Dame. He has a lot to offer. He catches the ball extremely well. He can play physical, and he also has speed and moves to get you outside.
10th play of the drive, 2nd down and 7, and the pitch left to Waters. And Ricky Waters is tripped up nicely by the free safety, Stanley Richard. But Waters has delivered this year. Always a controversial figure. And, of course, he never gets the ball enough times, I think, in any game.
You know what? If he's in a game and says, you know what, you're giving me the ball enough, then I don't want you. You better complain about let me make a play. I don't think a guy's worth squat if he doesn't want the ball. Who cares if the guy complains? Feed him the football.
The Eagles talk about ball control. The Redskins have had it under a minute, but they lead in the game. 3rd down and 5. Here is pressure on Hoying again, and he dumps it off, and it's intercepted by Darrell Green. That's his first of the year. And Darrell Green is going to go all the way. He waited until the last game of the regular season to get his first interception of the season. An 83-yard return for a score. And Darrell Green has never had a season without an interception in his spectacular career.
15 years. And that time they got pressure again. And that one's on Bobby Hoying. He may even have been trying to throw the thing away the way it went. And that's what happens with a young player trying to make a play.
Darrell Green with the interception and an 83-yard return for a touchdown, and that is the longest return for a touchdown by Darrell Green on an interception in his career. Chris Jackie for the extra point, and the kick is hooked, but it's good. It just made it through the uprights, and the Redskins, with under 5 minutes remaining here in this first quarter, thanks to the defense, lead the Eagles 14-0. Defense haven't had the ball for a minute, but their defense, with a fumble recovery and a TD, and Darrell Green intercepting Bobby Hoying's pass. There you see 14 defensive points, only 3 offensive plays, and Darrell Green's 7th interception return for a touchdown in that 15-year career. So Chris Jackie kicking off short this time for the 3rd time in the game, and Deuce Staley returning. Staley still on his feet and still going. Deuce Staley to the 40-yard line, and finally Jamel Williams tripped him up, and Stanley Richard makes the tackle and a 57-yard kickoff return on the play.
I want you to watch number 82, Chris T. Jones, and because this is transition football. See right there, see, he shut it down right there, and that's not good enough. You can't shut it down. You have to keep it going. Much like Deuce Staley keeps it going here. See what he does? Never stops. Spin move, comes back. He just keeps his feet moving. Watch him finish this thing off at the end. Stanley Richard, boom. He just keeps on going. I like Deuce Staley. I liked him at Lehigh in training camp when I saw him, and I think he needs to play more. This kid's a good football player.
I think he's going to get a chance, especially in light of the Ricky Waters situation, whether he'll be back or not. In any event, that was the longest kickoff return for the Eagles this year. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line of the Redskins, who lead 14-0. And here's Charlie Garner, who's come in the game. Garner and Waters, a good 1-2 punch. A loss of 2. Ryan Keel in on the play.
The other thing you get with Deuce Staley is his versatility. Along with Charlie Garner and Ricky Waters, is you can line him up as a running back, but see, he presents problems for you defensively because he can catch the ball so well, and he can line him up as a wide receiver. So you have problems how you treat him when you get him outside the formation.
Deuce Staley carried only 1 time this year coming into this game. 2nd down and 12, and here is Staley. And there is Ryan Keel again making the play. That'll bring up 3rd down and long for the Eagles with under 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Washington Redskins are doing to counter all this running is this is a single gap system what they run. But so everybody's accounted for in your front with your front 7 people, and then you walk your safety up to give you that extra man.
3rd and 10. Hoying has time and his pass to Dunn. He's got it. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jason Dunn found an opening, and a 31-yard touchdown strike brings the Eagles back.
That was a beautifully thrown ball by Hoying. That thing came out quick and decisive, and he sees the coverage and he knows what he wants to do. Just runs right by the safety right here. See, he sees the mismatch, and the ball's being thrown right as he gets to the top. That's very well developed play, but very decisive by the quarterback.
Only his 7th reception, but his 2nd touchdown catch of the year for Jason Dunn. Chris Bonio, extra point is good, and with 3 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the first quarter, the Redskins lead now has been cut to 14-7. Eagles eliminated last week with their loss at Atlanta 20-17.
You watch right down inside is going to be Jason. He's going to try to get up top to the top side. You see the safeties are sitting. They're kind of playing right in the middle. See, and what happens is he's looking to this side, and he's trying to push him up, knowing that he has a safety in the middle. And so you hit it between both safeties, in here and out here, and you just come right inside, and the ball's thrown to him. And what you try to do is you try to attack the gray areas between the two defenders.
That was the 10th touchdown pass by Bobby Hoying, and remember, it was all set up by that scintillating 57-yard kickoff return by Deuce Staley.
One of the problems you have when you run a lot of zone, and that they're not running a lot, but when you run zone coverage, it's communication. And you attack between where they overlap, where the safety would be and where the corner would be. And so if you have a safety who's sitting here and a corner sitting here, this area is what you try to attack. You don't know which way they're going. And so you get right in between the two of them, and the ball goes right down the middle. Hoying saw it and delivered it quick.
There is Brian Mitchell, who is back deep. Chris Bonio with a end-over-end kick, and it is Mitchell inside the 15. Brian Mitchell deciding to go inside, and he is stopped there by Brian Dawkins, and a flag is down. Ron Blum is our referee today. And it will be against the Redskins. Right now from McDonald's Game Break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Hey, Dick Bradshaw's comeback player of the year, Trent Dilfer. Take a look. Nobody's open, under pressure, running. Bradshaw says, throw it away, Trent. No, good move, Trent, on that bum angle. First touchdown for the month of December by Tampa Bay. Hey, it's all tied at 7, Colts and the Vikings. Let's go back to Dick and Matt.
All right, JB, and of course that Colts-Viking game is of paramount importance to Redskin fans and, of course, to our viewers who root for the Vikings and Lions. We have plenty of them today as well. First and 10 at the 15 following the penalty. Hostetler loops it out to Larry Bowie. And Bowie, the second-year fullback, out of bounds after a pickup of 15 yards. Troy Vincent made the stop. The pass distribution the last 3 games, Brian Mitchell with 13, and you can see that the wide receivers, Matt, well down on the list, especially the 2 who have started, Westbrook and Henry Eller.
Well, and I think there's a reason for that. I mean, the last 3 games with Jeff Hostetler being the quarterback, he doesn't have, well, he kind of lost his fastball on the deep outs, and so you're kind of limited what you can do down the field. Consequently, he's throwing a lot of underneath stuff.
First down on the 31-yard line. Hostetler rolls out, and his pass is caught by Jamie Asher, and a good pickup of 6 to the tight end, who comes in leading the Redskin wide receivers.
When you look at Jeff Hostetler and the way they run this offense, there have been some changes. I mean, not necessarily how they're calling the offense, but Haas is a smart guy. He knows what he can and can't do well. And so you play to your strength.
Second down and 4, and Stephen Davis up the middle with a good burst. Jeff Harrod getting the start today, and a perennial starter with the Colts for 9 years, a 5-yard pickup. Harrod in there for the injured James Willis. William Thomas, who had a consecutive game string stop last week. James Darling, a rookie, also starting at linebacker. First down for the Redskins on the 43. Hostetler looking to throw, drilled it, and the pass caught by Albert Connell, and the rookie from Texas A&M has it into Eagle territory, a gain of 14 with the linebacker James Darling downfield.
And that's the kind of throw that Jeff Hostetler does well. I mean, he's throwing a lot of in routes. He's kind of effectively lost the out routes, and especially the deep stuff. He can hitch that thing quick. See, here's what he does. See all this down here? This stuff is now gone for him. So he'll try to throw right in that area, right in the middle, along the outside of the hashes.
Under a half a minute remaining in the first quarter. First down. Again, Hostetler with time, and he's got Asher, his tight end. Jamie Asher still carrying defenders inside the 20-yard line. A gain of 24 yards, and that may be the last play of the first quarter, as the Redskin offense showing something after the defense led the way early. And that is the end of the first quarter here at Jack Kent Cooke Stadium with the score: the Redskins 14, the Eagles 7.
Snowing and blowing on bushels of fun. Now the jingle has begun.
Down to the field to Brett Haber.
Guys, a couple of injuries on the Philly side of things. Ricky Waters, the outstanding running back, has a clavicle injury. He is questionable. He's in the locker room right now. Troy Drake likewise has a sprained knee. He's in the locker room. On the Redskins side of things, the kicker, Chris Jackie, who just came in to replace Scott Blanton, he's inactive today. Jackie sprained his back during warm-ups. He's trying to stretch it out. Not doing very well. Matt Turk would be the next guy to kick for them. Back upstairs to you.
What a laundry list of ailments as we start the second quarter. Dick Stockton and Matt Millen. First down at the 19-yard line. Pass knocked away. Albert Connell, and it was Clark and Ryan Dawkins.
Dawkins made the play. Dawkins made the break, and that was 6. Hostetler threaded that thing right where it had to be, but because of the break, you're going to watch right to the inside. Hold the outside. Know you have safety help. There's the ball. There's your help. That is really well played by Dawkins. 1 foot down, bing, ball comes out.
And the reaction of Jeff Hostetler and Dawkins in his second year at the strong safety position, 2nd and 10, and the handoff is to Brian Mitchell on the shovel pass, and Mitchell gets down to the 1-yard line.
That's all about timing, Dick. That whole thing is about timing. And what you're trying to time is the rush of the defense to come up so you can create a lane behind him. You know what? As Hostetler goes back, he's going to come back underneath. You have to get this rush, come back up. See, and that's on Hostetler. He's got to get this guy here so you can clear underneath. And it's very, very well done by Hostetler, and a good job by Mitchell running in to where no one else is.
18 yards on the shovel pass. 1st and goal at the 1. Stephen Davis, touchdown. Stephen Davis, who fumbled on the first series last week against the Giants, capped the drive and his 3rd touchdown of the year.
Well, we said at the start, Dick, that if the Redskins were going to do anything, they were going to have to feed off of Jeff Hostetler and his leadership. And they've been able to get that done. That, coupled with the fact that the offensive line that time just kind of caved the whole side in, Stephen Davis is able to take it in.
Chris Jackie, who Brett Haber reported has a strained back, trying to work out the kinks, has kicked throughout this game, though, and his extra point is good. And the score now, the Redskins with a 21-7 lead over the Eagles as Stephen Davis fights his way in.
By the U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest Army in the world. Be all you can be. By Wheaties, the breakfast of champions. And by DVD video from Philips Magnavox. Technology for the heart, the spirit, and the imagination.
Redskins in front now 21-7 with their first offensive touchdown of the game. And Chris Jackie, who's been bothered by that back, which is maybe one of the reasons why he had that low hook on that first extra point and kicked it low again on the second. And his kickoffs haven't been deep either. Mel Gray, Deuce Staley back for Philadelphia. This is a line drive kick. And it's going to be Deuce Staley who returned the last kick 57 yards. And look at this one. Staley out to the 42-yard line, and this was a 35-yard kickoff return. Wednesday, it's the last international showdown before the Olympics on Fox. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Charlie Garner is split wide to the left on 1st down. Chris Dishman defending him, and the handoff is to Deuce Staley. Nothing there as Kelvin Kinney knocks him for a loss of 2.
You know, there's something that Kelvin Kinney, he's not a real big guy. I mean, he's like 255 pounds. He's tall. And you know what I like about him? The kid's got some fight in him. I mean, he may not do exactly what you want him to do in every play, but he will keep on fighting. Like that play right there, he was wrong. See, he ran underneath the block, but he stayed with it and he made the play.
Bruce Staley comes out, and Kevin Turner, the fullback, is in as the lone setback on 2nd down and 11. Pressure again on Bobby Hoying, and this pass caught by Chris T. Jones, still on his feet. And Chris Jones gets through a sea of white shirts who failed to tackle him. A bad job by the Redskins defense, and a gain ultimately of 33.
And a good job by Chris T. Jones. The one thing that has been consistent for this Washington Redskin defense this year has been their poor tackling. I mean, they have not done a good job all season long. Conversely, Chris T. Jones, who's finally healthy, runs with a little bit of authority. Anytime you have a wide receiver running through your secondary, that's not a good sign.
He's another of the young people that Ray Rhodes is taking a long look at. On 1st down, Kevin Turner puts the move on. With a pretty good move on Greg Jones. Jesse Campbell making the tackle and a pickup of 5. The Vikings have taken the lead over the Colts 10-7 after Indianapolis had a 7-0 lead, and a Minnesota victory will clinch a playoff berth for them. The Eagles or the Redskins need a win and either a Viking or Lion loss. 2nd and 5 on the Redskins 22. And the handoff is to Charlie Garner, and Garner gets more than he should have, and a flag goes down. Derek Smith and Ryan Keel in on the play. It's been relatively penalty-free this afternoon, and will be a holding penalty called against the Eagles.
Holding, 28 offense, 10 yards, will be 2nd down.
That's Jimmy Johnson, the tight end, former Washington Redskin. Watch right up here, number 88, right at the top of your screen. Heck, I don't know. To me, that looks like what tight ends do in this league anymore. There are no Dave Caspers. They don't blow you off the ball. They just kind of hang on to you.
It's all in the eye of the beholder, I guess.
That didn't look like much of a penalty to me.
2nd down and 16. The Eagles back at their Redskins 33. Pressure up the middle, and a screen pass to Kevin Turner. Turner still on his feet, and the Redskins tackling is a shambles as Kevin Turner gets inside the 10-yard line, and a gain of 24 and what should have been a 5- or 6-yard pickup.
But a great effort by Kevin Turner. I mean, there's one thing about missing tackles, and there's the other thing. The other half of that is running hard. And I want you to watch how he lowers his shoulders. There's one, runs through Ken Harvey, runs through Jesse Campbell, runs over Derek Smith, and then finally gets drugged from behind by Boutte.
1st and goal at the 9.
Pathetic comes to mind.
I knew it would sooner or later. Here's Charlie Garner turning the corner, and Garner knocks the official down. Touchdown, Eagles. He got in there.
And the guy who they called for a hold earlier was the whole key. Jimmy Johnson was able, his block enabled Charlie Garner to get to the corner. Watch right down here. You're going to work on the outside linebacker, Ken Harvey. You bounce, stay inside, and then you bounce outside. And it's because of that block that he's able to get to the corner, and then another good job of bad tackling.
And that right foot got in the end zone, and Charlie Garner with his 2nd touchdown of the year. Jimmy Johnson who made it happen. And now Chris Boniol with the extra point. And the kick is perfect. And so the Eagles come within a touchdown once again. Charlie Garner has terrific speed, and he shows it here. 21-14 Washington. We'll
That's
be right
not
back.
a score. Personally, I was wrong. Here's why. It's where the ball is when he crosses the goal line. Remember right here. See, that goes all around the world. And now He crosses the goal line here with his feet right when the ball is crossing the line, and so that is 6. And then Norv Turner was arguing with Wagner, the umpire, but to no avail because it was a good call by the official.
A close call, but a good call.
Yeah. Charlie Garner had the ball, and his feet got through, crossed the plane, so it's 6.
Deuce Staley set it up with another big kickoff return. And the kickoff, Brian Mitchell, picking it up on the 14-yard line and fighting his way to about the 22. So the Redskins get it back, and a flag is down with 10:30 remaining in the second. No surprise there on a return of a kick. Illegal use of the hands or holding. And that'll go against the Redskins.
No, this game is 21-14.
During the return, illegal block in the back above the waist. 22 in the receiving team. 10 yards, first down.
Jamel Williams, the Nebraska rookie.
Dick, this game 21-14. See, Washington's up. I said, but this has been all Philadelphia. Philadelphia Eagles have done basically whatever they wanted offensively, and defensively they struggled a little bit.
Here you see how the Redskin defense has faltered in the month of December. First down on the 12-yard line. Hostetler gets hit as he lets go of it, and the pass is dropped. Flag is down. Albert Connell was hit by Willie Clark. The side judge lost his hat, and 2 flags go down upfield.
They're going to make the call for interference, but regardless of the call, Connell's going to make that catch. And the ball hit him right in the chest. He's working on Willie Clark outside. Nice to jam. Now just run. Get to the top side. All right, Clark holds a little bit right there. You know,
a little bit.
You got to let him play. But look, forget all that. Forget this ball. You have to make that catch. You can't drop the ball.
21-yard penalty, and you're absolutely right. Because Connell had his man beaten. Hostetler threw it well. First down. Pressure downfield. And this pass nearly caught Michael Westbrook. And another flag is down at midfield. And Hostetler was hit. Troy Vincent defending, but Greg Jefferson.
There's a couple flags all over the place. You got one right at the quarterback's feet. You can see right there.
One at
that's
the 50.
roughing the passer, and then there's one down to 50 later on. I think Jefferson ran right through Hostetler. Now they don't have Hostetler. It turns into Trent Green.
Trent Green, right?
Holding and roughing the passer.
Ron Blum. Well, we didn't have any penalties early, but we're getting a flurry now.
Holding 23 defense. That penalty is declined.
Troy
Personal foul, roughing the passer. 79 defense, leading with the helmet.
Greg Jefferson going in strong on Jeff Hostetler.
And that's Ron Blum. Now his job is to protect the quarterback. Ball's thrown, leading with the head. I don't know about that.
You got to protect the quarterback.
You protect the, how the heck you hit somebody? You got to hit the guy. You can't let him go. Heck, this is pathetic. The ball's thrown out there for Westbrook to run to it. It was the right kind of ball, but how now do you say, how do you, okay, don't hit the quarterback, don't beat him up. How, you got to not hit him anymore. That's ridiculous.
Trent Green will come in the game when we come back.
Sorry about my venting.
Hostetler on the sideline, knocked out of the game by Greg Jefferson, and Trent Green, who has never seen an action, one play in the NFL in his 4th season, has been forced into the game. And he is going deep to Albert Connell on the first play, and bumped by Willie Clark, but no flag. And let's take a look at the hit again by Greg Jefferson on Hostetler.
I'm going to watch now. To me, this is as good a hit as you can get. That's almost perfect form tackling. Didn't hit him in the head, didn't lead with his helmet, hit right with the forehead. Everything was done right.
And he's coming back.
Hostetler's right back in because of the toughness. I just think, now the old defensive player in me came out. You got to let the guys play. And I understand you have to protect the quarterback. But that's as good as it gets. He's not launching himself. He's not trying to spear him. You're hitting with your forehead. That's a perfect tackle.
Hostetler back, had the wind knocked out of him, and Stephen Davis gets a yard. And right now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Hey, Dick, Giants trying to snap a 6-game losing streak at Dallas. Well on their way right now. Take a look at Danny Cannell. 21-yard strike to Chris Callaway. 10-0 Giants over Dallas there. Vikings on top of the coach, 10-7 in the second quarter there. Back to Dick and Matt Miller.
All right, JB, Vikings trying to break a 5-game losing streak, and on your reaction of the defensive play, that's what makes you Matt Millen. I love it when you react that way because that's the way you play.
You're goofy. That's what I can't help it. It's an emotional game.
Goofy.
There's a lot of other people saying it too.
Third down and 8. They send a few in on Hostetler, and Jamie Asher with the reception and a first down to the 41-yard line, a gain of 10 yards.
You know, it's been one quiet day on the outside for Michael Westbrook. Part of the reason is he's drawing Troy Vincent. And then the other reason is you're looking to the other side. Now, what you can do when you have the best cover guy working against your receiver is to use that against the defense. And so you take him and you start drawing coverage away from him and then go back to the side. The other part of it is because Hostetler doesn't throw a lot of outballs, now you have to start using Westbrook to the inside.
He was shut out last week as well against the Giants. First down at the 40. Pressure up the middle on Hostetler, and he has to throw it away. Jeff Harrod. We are seeing a variety of blitzes from both sides in this first half today. It's like Harrod and Hostetler exchanged a few choice phrases. 8:38 remaining in the first half. The Redskins leading 21-14. Redskins with 2 defensive touchdowns in this game. Darrell Pounds on a fumble return, and Darrell Green with an 83-yard interception return. On 2nd and 10, Hostetler to Larry Bowie is hit at the 34-yard line. Will be short of the first down by about 4. Darling and Harrod, 2 linebackers there.
Again, Hostetler just looking back underneath, effectively eliminating any part of the field outside the numbers unless it's about 10 yards and under.
Chris Thomas, another one of the young wide receivers, number 89, has come in. You see Connell, 83. Tim McTire, a rookie cornerback, in the secondary for the Eagles. Thomas in motion on 3rd and 5, and the pass batted down. Flag is down as well. Richard Dent knocked down that pass from Hostetler, but a penalty marker throw.
Yeah, I think Mamula jumped outside, which could be a first down.
I believe it is, Matt.
Offside, 59 defense, 5 yards, first down.
Yeah, this is another thing of leadership. Listen to Hostetler. Yeah, see that you can't teach. That's talked about all week long, and you get a young guy in there, and it doesn't happen. You get in a rhythm. But Hostetler's been around it long enough, knows you have 3rd and 5, you take your shot at the hard count, Mamula bites, and you get your first down.
Jeff Hostetler, 36 years old. Gus Farad out with a broken hip. 1st and 10 at the 30 of Philadelphia. Stephen Davis running room to his left. And ridden out of bounds by Troy Vincent after a gain of 7.
That was designed to go inside, and then Stephen Davis saw he could get the corner and took the speed right away. Now, a lot of times what happens is you're not expecting, you never know what the heck is going to happen when you're blocking down the field. You're a wide receiver maybe running. You're Michael Westbrook. You're outside. If he had given a little more effort, Stephen Davis could have turned that into something.
2nd down and 3 on the Philly 23. Hostetler hanging in there, can't find a receiver, and goes for the sideline. Brian Dawkins chasing him.
And that is just a case of good coverage and good defense by the Philadelphia Eagles, because he's looking down the field. First he's looking outside to Michael Westbrook, and Troy Vincent's right on top of him. Then he goes to the other side, and he's going to try to find Albert Connell, and he's picked up by Ray Farmer underneath. And then he's trying to find Stephen Davis, not there, so he has to just gut it out and try to throw himself forward for the first down. But nice defense by the Philadelphia Eagles down the field, which forced him to run.
3rd down and 1. 3 tight ends, and the pitch to Stephen Davis. 1st down and more. Davis gets inside the 5.
But Brian Dawkins came up to force that play on Larry Bowie and ended up cutting Larry Bowie and effectively blocking himself. You know, watch, he's gonna come right up fast right here, see, and he's gonna take himself out, and now all this is used against him. A nice job of Stephen Davis of seeing it, using the flow against its defense and taking it inside. Sometimes when you run well and you flow fast, a good patient running back will be able to use that against you.
He used it to the tune of 18 yards. 1st and goal at the 3. The handoff up the middle. Touchdown, Larry Bowie, the first man back. And this has been a very entertaining first half of football here at Jack Kent Cooke Stadium for the regular season finale.
Heck, we got 42 points already in the first half.
Redskins taking a 27-14 lead for Larry Bowie. That is his 2nd touchdown rushing of the season. Chris Jackie. High snap, and Jackie with the low kick. It's good. But the back affecting Chris Jackie with a lot of low hooks. But he's connected every time, and the Redskins lead now 28-14.
Teammates.
Once again, with Larry Bowie's score, today's Aflac trivia question: who are these 2 future NFL players? And the hint, they're both on the field today. We'll have the answer coming up shortly.
See that guy on the right there? He hasn't changed since he was a little guy. There's always a smile on his face.
Right.
Always.
That's a pretty good hint. 9 plays, 88 yards. And the Eagles shot themselves in the foot with 3 penalties for 41 of those yards. Line drive kick. Kevin Turner, the up man, picking it up at the 30-yard line, picking his way and down at the 36-yard line. Well, once again, today's Aflac trivia question: who are these 2 future NFL players? Both on the field today. The answer: Ricky Waters and Darrell Green. You knew about Green. Waters is from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Darrell Green from Houston, Texas.
I'll tell you about that Darrell Green. I have never seen or been around a guy happier. I mean, that smile right there, it's never left him.
Genuinely.
He's a happy guy to be around.
Dude, incredible spirit. Eagles with a first down on the 37. And a whistle and a penalty right at the line of scrimmage.
One thing about Darrell Green, he's always in motion.
Prior to the snap, false start, 73 offense, 5 yards.
Jerry Kraft, who is starting today on the offensive line for the injured Ian Beckles.
Darrell Green, you get here, and I got here this morning at 8:30. At 9:30, Darrell Green was already running around the field like he played 3 games before he ever came to this game.
First down and 15 with Garner and Turner in the Eagle backfield. And here is Charlie Garner, breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Garner, who scored an Eagle touchdown, is close to another first down, picks up 13 yards and nearly makes all of the yardage back. Jesse Campbell making the tackle finally.
And they're going at that left side. Their offensive left side, defensive right side. Kelvin Kinney. I mean, he's not the biggest guy. And so they get on him. And what happens, you get into a block, you also have to disengage and get off the block.
Second down and 2, Garner. And he appears to have a first down. Chris Zorich, the former Chicago Bear, who is active today, making the tackle. Redskins defensive line, like their offensive line, has been a hodgepodge throughout most of the year.
Yeah, I want you to watch. Now, he's going to get into Jermaine Mayberry. That's Kelvin Kinney, 97. He'll get into him. Okay, now hold your ground. Now you have to get off the block. So you can't wait for him to get even to you. You have to get rid of him so you can make the play at the line of scrimmage.
Eagles on their own 48. Here comes the blitz with Campbell, a tip ball, and it's caught by Kevin Turner. And Turner making the alert reception, but the Eagles still needing about 9 yards or 8 as we wind down to 4 minutes remaining in the first half.
Both defensive coordinators in this game, Mike Nolan for the Washington Redskins, Emmett Thomas for the Philadelphia Eagles, both know that they can't get to the passer without blitzing somebody. And so the only time they've gotten legitimate pressure is by attacking protection.
Darryl Pounds, the extra cornerback, shadows Freddie Solomon. For the handoff, and Ken Harvey comes in. Charlie Garner is stuffed and back to the original line of scrimmage, and that will bring up 3rd down and 10.
Ken Harvey is not the biggest guy out there. I mean, Ken Harvey's kind of on the small side, 235 pounds. He's got a tremendous motor. Never quits. He's a very good effort pass rusher. You can see only 237, but he will battle you play in and play out.
And looking for his first playoff game in his career. 3rd down and 10. Boying under pressure, and down he goes. Ken Harvey and Chris Dishman.
That's a fumble right there.
Fumble, and the Redskins recovered. And it's Dishman.
Dishman came up with it. And again, that's not a bad punt. A little bit of hang time.
In rugby, that would be a nice play by Chris Dishman.
In the National Football League, that's a fine. Remember, we talked about not being able to get there with your 4 people, so now you bring Dishman off the corner. And again, it's numbers, and they're attacking number 34, Kevin Turner. They make him make a decision. Does he stay in or does he bump outside? Either way, he can't be right. He jumps to the inside, Dishman comes clean, forces the fumble, and it's another turnover.
And the 3rd of the game for the Eagles, and the Redskins have capitalized with touchdowns on the first 2. On the Eagles' 38-yard line, 1st down and 10. Jeff Hostetler being rushed, and the pass is caught by Stephen Davis. Tries to get away from James Darling. 2:48 and the clock running. Each team has all 3 of its timeouts remaining. Darling, a rookie from Washington State, taken on the 2nd round.
He's going to be all right. Physically, he's okay. But what he doesn't do right now is he doesn't recognize things real fast and attack things. He's still in the thought process where he sees it happen in front of him and thinks about it before he can react to it.
Taking William Thomas's place for the 2nd straight week. 2nd down and 11. Play fake and a good one, and the pass is caught underneath by Jamie Asher as we get to the 2-minute warning. A gain of 4 yards. They need about 6 left. 2-minute warning here at Jack Kent Cooke Stadium. We'll be right back. Khakis halftime report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Ronnie will bring you scores and highlights from around the league. In our Fox Sports ticker, we'll have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Dockers Khakis halftime report. Well, a good day on the final regular season date. They haven't had good weather here at Jack Kent Cooke Stadium. A beautiful stadium. The fans love it. And a model for other stadiums around the league.
After you've been here and you look around, you can see this is the way that stadiums will be modeled after.
3rd down and 6. And here is Brian Mitchell. Knocked back, and a big loss on the play. Back to the 45 of Philadelphia. Michael Zordich, the veteran strong safety, and a loss of 10 yards on the play. So it'll be 4th down.
And a nice timeout. It's a smart timeout by the Philadelphia Eagles. The way they've been moving the ball, you take your timeout here, you force the punt, hopefully goes into the end zone. If not, you take your shot at a return. In any event, you're conserving your time for your offense to be able to use it.
1:48 remaining in the first half. We'll be right back. Mel Gray back deep for the Eagles. Going for the corner. Flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
Brian Dawkins is going to say that the ball was tipped.
And they're going to call running into the kicker against the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't believe it's roughing. It should be running into the kicker.
Well, he's going to ask Bob Wagner, the umpire, if it was tipped. If in fact it was tipped, he would pick that flag up. However, it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
And that would be a big first down. Not necessarily. If it's 5 yards, they would not be. It would not be automatic first down. Roughing the kicker would be.
See if he doesn't tip that ball. I couldn't tell there.
Running into the kicker. The penalty is declined. First down, Philadelphia.
That's a good decision. There comes Dawkins. There's the ball. Didn't look like he nipped it at all, so it's a good call by the official. Also, and a good decision because the punt kept them right at the 10-yard line. So you decline the penalty, and you give them 90 yards to have to go.
And with 1:41 seconds remaining in the second quarter, the Eagles have 2 timeouts left. Trailing 28-14. Redskins need a victory and a loss or tie by either Minnesota or Detroit, and the Vikings lead 23-10 against the Colts now. And the handoff to Charlie Garner. Look at that burst by Garner. And not only does he get enough to get out of trouble, he gets 19 yards and stops the clock. Running out of bounds.
And a nice job by Irving Fryer. Was able to come back and make a block to be able to get him outside on the corner. You know, watch, just a nice job of setting up. You know you're going to have to throw, and then you just make a draw. You just run the draw, and then watch Irving Fryer coming back inside. Just has to get in Pound's way, and just that little bit of a nick allows him to get out there where he's able to stop the clock.
First and 10 at the 29-yard line. Bobby Hoying with a deep drop, and he goes underneath to Garner again, and he is wrestled down by Stanley Richard at the 35, short of the first down by about 4 yards. Clock continues to run, and the Eagles hurry it up. Second and 4, and here's Kevin Turner close to the first down, and the Eagles may be forced to call a timeout at this point. Darryl Pounds making the tackle. They're letting it run, though.
That I don't understand, why he was brought back underneath.
Under a minute to go. Hoying stepping up, and the pass is dropped, incomplete. Chris T. Jones, and a flag down at midfield. 51 seconds remain in the first half.
That's going to be on Washington, defensive pass interference. Oh, no, offensive, sorry. It was Irving Fryer working outside on Darrell Green.
Pass interference. 82 offense. 10 yards. Repeat first down.
And it is Chris T. Jones, who was the receiver, who could not hold on. So that will bring the ball back to the Eagles' 30-yard line. 51 seconds remain in the half. Eagles with 2 timeouts remaining. Stepping up in his pass to Fryer at the 35-yard line. Jesse Campbell with the quick hit. And the clock running. Second down and 15. Going in time, and the pass knocked away by Darrell Green, intended for Michael Timpson.
That was a nice break by Darrell Green, and that play right there is the reason why they haven't been throwing the out ball, because the corners of Washington have been sitting on it. Did you see how he's giving that cushion and he's waiting for that ball? He's not going to give it the out ball. So they're forcing Hoying to not throw there and throw back inside.
Darrell Green with his first interception of the year returned for 83 yards and a touchdown. Third down and 15 with under a half a minute remaining. 27 seconds, and the pass, not a good one, thrown behind Charlie Garner, and that will bring up fourth down.
They didn't use their timeouts. They're going to leave two of them on the board. That was not a very good minute 48 seconds. They didn't use that very well at all.
Not at all. So Tom Hutton will be kicking, and Brian Mitchell back deep as the Redskins trying to block that one. And the ball will go out of bounds at the 31-yard line with 16 seconds remaining in the first half. We'll be right back. Lie, Counselor. Anything in the first half, the Redskins will get the ball and expect to just run out the clock with a 2-touchdown lead. And they were halfway through their goal of winning today, but they need help. And if they don't get it from the Vikings, they hope to get it from the Lions. And that is the end of the first half here at Jack Kent Cooke Stadium, as the veteran Jeff Hostetler and a very stern defense for the Redskins have them up by 2 touchdowns. Redskins trying to finish the season at 8-7-1 on the year, and the Philadelphia Eagles will be under 500 no matter what happens today. So that's the end of the first half. Score is 28-14 in favor of the Redskins over the Eagles. The Eagles 28-14, and this first half highlight is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT. Darrell Green's first interception of the year. He made it a big one. 83-yard return, longest interception return of his career for a touchdown.
Well, you can see he saved the best for the last game, and then also you look on the sideline, he had more traffic cops signaling which way to go, like he didn't know he was supposed to run that way.
So the Redskins start out with 2 defensive touchdowns. Now, how would you look at the game after that?
I think it's been pretty even, to be honest with you. I think you take away the 2, it's what, 28-14. You take away the 2 defensive touchdowns. The Eagles have moved the ball well. Neither team has been able to generate any kind of a pass rush without going after some kind of a blitz. But pretty much, they're 2 even football teams. It's what we've seen here in the first half.
Bobby Hoying, of course, the rookie quarterback, and the 36-year-old veteran, Jeff Hostetler. There is Hoying. And looking at the first half statistics, the Eagles actually have the edge. But when you get to the penalties and the turnovers, that's where Philadelphia has been hurt.
Well, the turnovers and the points off turnovers. You can see the 14 that the Eagles have given up, and that's killed them. And then the penalties, you know, the one drive where Hostetler took one to the kisser, or right to the stomach, rather. And the Redskins inevitably scored on that drive, and that was a big penalty. You can see the pressure that Bobby Hoying's been under today. Again, the majority of that has been on blitzes.
Redskins outscoring the Eagles 14-7 in each of the first 2 quarters. There are Jeff Hostetler's numbers, 9 of 13 for 97 yards, looking a lot sharper than he did last week against the Giants. More like he did in the first game he started against the Arizona Cardinals 2 weeks ago. The Redskins will get the ball first. Brian Mitchell, the main return man, on the left. Chris Boniel will kick off for the Eagles.
Dick, the thing with Jeff Hostetler, then, the wide receivers in the first half for the Washington Redskins, 1 reception. The majority of his balls have all been down inside.
Boniel with a short kick, and Mitchell on the 15. Brian Mitchell, and he is stepped back as he runs right into Randy Kinder. It's exactly what you were referring to as far as where the ball has been thrown.
Look at this down here, nothing. 1 to Albert Connell. So out of their 3 receivers, you have 1 catch. Then everything else has been inside with 7 catches between Asher and the 2 backs out of the backfield.
There's Michael Westbrook, who has shown some flashes, and other times has not. Here is the handoff to Larry Bowie, the first back through, and he picks up about 2.
The Redskins thought that they could run and attack those 2 tackles of the Philadelphia Eagles. But I believe, and at times they've been successful. When they've been successful, they've been running more to the outside. They've gotten back inside. Ed Jasper 74 and Hollis Thomas 78. These two guys right in here, they've done a pretty good job along with Jeff Harrod. Remember, Harrod's played 9 years starting for the Colts. He knows how to play that inside pretty well.
Yes, he does. And Stephen Davis was the top ground gainer with 37 yards on 6 carries and a touchdown in the first half. Redskins will call a timeout early in the third quarter. We'll be right back.
Today.
Redskins with the ball, 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line, leading 28-14. Play fake.
There it is.
And the pass up the middle is caught by Michael Westbrook. His first catch of the day, and it's a 20-yard gain at midfield.
Yeah, now you can see that as soon as it happened because they were going in cover 3. And see how Vincent's holding the outside? He has safety help to the inside, but the safety got deep. Michael Westbrook just ran it right down inside of Dawkins' 20 to the inside of Troy Vincent.
Redskins are hoping Westbrook next year stays healthy and focused and delivers in the potential that he has. 1st and 10 at the 49. Hostetler trying to go to the air, loses the ball, and it's recovered by the Redskins. And it's Edward Jasper who forced it, and Hostetler recovered it alertly, but a big loss on the play.
Again, they were looking up top to Michael Westbrook, Troy Vincent to the outside, and Dawkins was sitting on the inside. They were going to again try to look on an inside route. Remember what I said earlier about Jeff Hostetler and where he throws the ball on the field. He does not throw good out routes, especially past 10 yards. And so the Redskins have had to account for that and start bringing everything to the middle.
2nd down and 21. And another timeout called by the Redskins, and that is bad. You're right, Matt. 2 timeouts called on the Redskins' first possession of the second half. Leaves them with only 1. 2 timeouts in the same possession. Offensive confusion, some 3 minutes apart, leaving them with only 1 in case the game comes down to a timeout at the end.
That, you know, we're being kind here, but that is affectionately known at Fox as bungled timeout.
Bungled is better than confusion. 2nd and 21. Hostetler being chased. And throws. And the pass is caught. Michael Westbrook with a great catch. Matt Stevens, the extra back on his. And that was a pretty good pass by Jeff Hostetler.
And it was a very good job by Michael Westbrook. Watch him right down here. Of knowing where his quarterback is. First you run your route. Now you see him starting to come back. Hostetler's rolling this way, stays with his route, runs right by the defender. It's just a nice job of understanding what you have to do and getting the job done.
That is a tough pass to make, and good alert play by Westbrook.
Just ran right by Matt Stevens, who was able to come down with the catch.
3rd down and 2. Westbrook is in motion, and Hostetler's going to throw again. And his pass is caught by Westbrook. 1st down, Redskins. To the Eagle 35 with Brian Dawkins defending. Now, you know, a lot of people have talked about, for those who are down on Michael Westbrook, the comparison, the first 3 years with Michael Irvin, they're virtually even. Irvin broke out in the 4th year. Of course, Irvin did miss some games because of knee surgery in that 3rd year. But right now, they're on an even track, man.
They're an even track, but there's one difference. See, Irvin had number 8 throwing him the football, and that makes a big difference. Michael Westbrook is not going to have that luxury, although I believe he's more talented than Michael Irvin.
1st and 10 at the 35. Stephen Davis trying to go to the left side, and Mike Mamula makes the tackle and a gain of only 2 yards.
You know, the other thing about Michael Westbrook is he's big and he's physical. And I believe when he's on his game, there's none better than him. I really believe that. In terms of blocking, in terms of throwing a receiver around, he's outstanding. And then you have Albert Connell and a little bit of a bump on Clark down the field. But it's easy to see why with Michael Westbrook you have to be patient, because his talent level is higher than just about everybody out there.
Second down and 7, and here is a play fake and a good one. Hostetler looking for a receiver, Albert Connell, and it was low to him. That will bring up third down and long. Connell making his first start today, and Henry Ellard. We talked about Ellard and Westbrook at one point shut out. Ellard has not played at all today, and more and more being phased down with the influx of some promising receivers. Here is Ellard, who along with Leslie Shepard, who was hurt this year. Ellard and Shepard combined 9 touchdown catches. Ellard has been one of the outstanding receivers for many years in the league. Third down and 7. And here is Chris Thomas, another one of the young receivers, close to the first down. Now Wallace downfield defending.
There's a nice adjustment by Norv Turner at that offense, knowing the kind of throws that Hostetler likes to make. Now he's going to start taking everything to the inside. You saw earlier they're trying to throw some out routes and stuff like that, and that's not a comfortable throw for Hostetler. He likes to throw more to the inside. Doesn't quite have the arm strength of the zip to make that long throw across the field, so you keep it inside the numbers.
First and 10 at the 25. Extra tight ends in. Stephen Davis fighting his way, and Davis in impressive fashion gets about 5 yards.
I think Stephen Davis is strong and he's fast, but I don't think he runs with his pad level down the way he should. Sometimes he doesn't finish a run, and I think when he gets that part down, I think it's going to make him that much better. See, he runs through. See how high he is? See, he doesn't dip his shoulders and run through guys like he should. And talking to John Riggins about him in the preseason, that was the one thing that Riggo talked about, and I believe that. It's true.
Riggo would know about finishing plays. 10th play of the drive. Hostetler pass is intercepted by Troy Vincent. Vincent still on his feet and finally goes down by Westbrook making the tackle. So Jeff Hostetler, who has had the interception bug, he has thrown 8 with only 4 touchdowns, and now throws another with Vincent picking it off. Eagles ball when we come back.
Troy Vincent was right down here under the mistletoe. He's ready to get kissed by Michael Westbrook, but see what ends up happening is Westbrook will drive him, and the ball is underthrown. See the anticipation? Now watch, Vincent drives this way while he continues to go this way. See, Westbrook has to come back to the football.
That is the 3rd interception of the year for Vincent, and they lost Bobby Taylor, their other outstanding cornerback, in the 5th game with a knee injury. So the Eagles get it back, starting from the 20-yard line, and they give it to Charlie Garner. Garner, who has carried now 7 times for 47 yards and a touchdown, is brought down by Boutte and Jesse Campbell.
The only thing that's really stopped the Philadelphia Eagle running game effectively at all this afternoon has been those 2 turnovers for the extra 14 points. Because if those 14 points aren't there, Philadelphia just runs the ball right down their throat. Washington hasn't stopped them.
2nd and 4. And here's Garner. Garner got by Lang. Kennard Lang missed Garner, and he made him pay for it with a sensational run of 26 yards. Charlie Garner spectacularly gets into Redskin territory.
Now he'll make you miss now, and I can tell you something. They walked up in an 8-man front. The safety was unblocked. Kennard Lang runs under his block, has the shot, and then you see Jesse Campbell, 37. He got blocked. And then it's just a matter of bodies on bodies. See, he'll run right by one safety. Charlie Garner is like a punt returner. You can turn a guy clean, he'll make you miss.
His longest rush from scrimmage all year, 26 yards. They go to number 30 again, and this time Rich Owens corrals him for no gain. Well, the Redskins with something to play for today, looking to sneak into the wild card situation. They need a victory and a loss by either Minnesota or Detroit. But the Vikings ahead of the Colts 29-10 in the 3rd quarter.
I would think with Detroit against the Jets at home, I think that's a game that Detroit will win very handily. And I would expect to have Sanders get his 133 yards.
Second down and 10. Hoying pass caught by Pryor, and he is tackled by Green, and a first down inside the 30-yard line.
Again, just sitting down in front of the zone. Irving Fryer, see how he jumps outside? That's because he knows he has a safety inside. Remember I talked earlier about where you attack those zones? It's in that gray area between the corner and the safety.
But Pryor is limping off the field, and his career high, 88 receptions coming into this game. He had 82, and that was his third, but he is taken up. Eagles with a first down, and the pitch to Kevin Turner. Turner getting a good block up front from Joe Panos.
And Charlie Garner. And Charlie Garner was the key. I mean, it's not like he powered him. All he did was get to the feet of Greg Jones, the outside linebacker, enough just to slow him up, and then he can come back down inside. Watch Charlie Garner down here. So you don't have to be powerful. You have to be smart. So you have to be cunning. And all you did was you get in his way and create a lane. And then Turner can take advantage of it and get the first down.
Eagles driving with a first down on the Redskin 18. Charlie Garner submarines his way to the 15-yard line.
Deuce Staley will make his way into the game now, and they haven't stopped Deuce Staley either.
Certainly not on kickoff returns. He returned the 157 yards to set up a touchdown earlier for the Eagles, and then a 35-yard kickoff return, setting up another Philadelphia touchdown.
You see Irvin Fryer saying when he fell, his ankle kind of got a little hyperextended there. If there's any way to be back, he'll be in, because that is one tough guy.
Second down and 7, and here is a fake end around to Solomon. The pass is lofted and dropped, incomplete, and it was intended for Chris T. Jones.
Philadelphia Eagles just need to continue to be patient running the football. Now, what happens when you get down inside in this red zone? Philosophies have changed in the league. And because things have shrunk and zones are being played down there, it gets harder and harder to throw the ball. So you see Irvin Fryer back in the huddle and out, lined up wide to the left. They try to take their shot from the 25-yard line out to create a little bit more room to work with.
Darrell Green is nose-to-nose with Irving Fryer on third down and 7. And here's Hoying going for Deuce Staley, incomplete. Well covered by the Redskins defense.
That's a good job by Jesse Campbell, the strong safety. They were going to try to run him up the sideline. They're crossing their routes inside to create a little confusion, and you take Staley and run him up the sideline, but Jesse Campbell stayed with his coverage all the way through.
So now Chris Bonio will come in to attempt a field goal. We have had nothing but touchdowns today. This will be a 33-yard attempt. And Bonio with a string of 60 consecutive field goals made. And the kick by Bonio is good, and the Eagles climb to within 11 with 5:12 remaining in the third quarter. While we have a moment, all of us would like to wish you Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and season's greetings. Redskins would like to continue their season. Terry Allen not playing today. Very tough without man who's been a perennial 1,000-yard rusher for the Redskins.
You got all three of those salutations in at once. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, season greetings.
I think I missed a couple, though. Here is the kickoff, and it's Brian Mitchell. And Mitchell's brought down on a terrific play on the special team.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
And that's the case of a big man. They just brought him in off the practice squad.
He had been property of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He is a free agent from a school right around here, the University of Maryland.
But you know what he does well? He's a big man. He can run. That time he used his speed and ran right past the guys trying to block him. And then Brian Mitchell, when you have a big body like that, you're going to watch him. Remember, right there, number 96. He just ran right through. They had no shot. He gets those big old hands on you. He's your history.
This could be an important possession for the Redskins.
And Philadelphia.
Right. For the game, we should say. Starting from the 12-yard line, Stephen Davis with a terrific run up the middle. Dawkins trips him up. after a gain of 8 yards. They get 9 for Davis.
If I were the Philadelphia Eagles, one guy in the running game versus the running game, the one guy I'd keep my eye on is James Jenkins, number 88. When he's in the football game, and he's coming out right now for Larry Bowie, but when he's in the game, the Redskins, and I picked this up just off watching a few tapes myself, they love to run to his side.
Out of there right now. Larry Bowie finds open spaces, fumbles, and the Redskins recover. Jamie Asher, I believe, picked up the loose ball to retain it for the Redskins after an impressive run by Bowie, who then coughed it up.
Boy, the Eagles wasted a monster opportunity right there. Dawkins puts his head down. He and Clark hit him. The ball pops out right there.
3 Eagles had a shot.
Darling had a shot at it along with Troy Vincent, but Jamie Asher is the guy who came up with it.
And James Jenkins comes into the game as Bowie goes out. And you were just talking about 1st and 10 on the Redskins 44. You go to Davis, and Dawkins gets a hold of him and a gain of about 4. Right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Buccaneers angling to host the playoff game next week. Little used Eric Rett, the handoff from Steve Walsh. Big block by Mike Allstott. 31 points by the Buccaneers. 31-7 over Chicago. Back to Dick and Matt.
That's after getting shut out by the Jets 31-0 last week.
They did not look very good at all last week.
2nd down and 6. Up the middle, the pass to the outside, and
that's a nice job,
Stephen Davis.
You see how James Darling did that? See, James Darling took the perfect angle, and he was able to take away whatever Stephen Davis could give him. See, he was swinging to the outside, so Darling cut the angle down. Watch, he's going to come out here. Now watch how his angle comes from the inside out. See, because he came from the inside, he takes away any kind of a cutback. That's just good geometry.
Math major.
Probably was. Now, on that play, he got an A for math.
Jeff Perron put some good pressure up the middle. 3rd down and 8. There's that hard count by Hostetler. No flag thrown. And Hostetler goes down. Mike Mamula, who has only 3 sacks this year, well below what the Eagles had anticipated from their defensive end, knocks Hostetler down for a loss of 7. And the first sack of the game for Philadelphia.
Listen to the hard count by Hostetler. He's working inside. He actually must have done a good job of getting back inside, because Richard Dent jumped at that tackle position, but apparently got back.
Matt Turk kicking for only the 3rd time. Mel Gray back at the 11-yard line. Mel Gray, who starred for many years with the Lions and then the Houston Oilers, and Patrice Alexander with a great special teams tackle. We'll be right back.
And
Brian Mitchell right there, number 30. This is what separates Brian Mitchell. See, Brian Mitchell's one of the top return men in the National Football League. He's also one of the top return defenders. And then the other thing is he is scrappy. And you need some help, you know. Then you see you get the Turk brothers right here. See the little tag team. You got your nasty boys. You got Tora Tanaka. You got all. But then you got the Turks also. See, they jump right in there.
What number is that Tanaka?
Tora Tanaka and Mr. Fuji.
Eagles with a 1st down on the 17. Charlie Garner bursts up the middle. And Charlie Garner having a final game.
Hey, that was Dishman tried to rip that ball out at the end.
Gain of 16 yards when it was all over. Dishman with help from Stanley Richard.
They're just ripping the guts out of that defense. This offensive line is opening up the holes. Watch Stanley Richard, and watch, it's trying to take the ball out. Now, he got it out before he went down, but the referee had blown the whistle because his forward progress had stopped.
Charlie Garner's gained 92 yards on 11 carries. Going to get a chance for more as he bangs right into Jesse Campbell and gets about 5.
The one thing about Charlie Garner that he's a little guy, and so they're afraid to hand him the ball 25, 30 times a game. But he's a big change-up, and he's quick, and he sees things fast, and he'll accelerate through the hole. He's got himself 100 yards already, only on 12 carries.
He has averaged nearly 4.5 yards per carry this year, and he scored his second touchdown of the season in the second quarter. Second down and 5 at the 39. Deuce Staley in the game on the screen pass. Staley, and good job done by Derek Smith, the rookie linebacker. No gain on the play as the clock winds down, and that will be it for the third quarter as the Eagles climb in that quarter to within 11, and that is the end of the third quarter with the score: the Redskins 28, the Eagles 17. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox station.
Walking in a winter wonderland.
The calf of Charlie Garner, they're rubbing it down with ice. Look at the calf to Charlie, to some defensive lineman, looks like a forearm.
And Ricky Waters, of course, went out in the first quarter with a clavicle injury reported by Brett Habert. So Garner has come in, gained virtually 100 yards. Third down and 5 at the 39-yard line. The Eagles trailing 28-17 as we start the fourth quarter. Bobby Hoying is going to be sacked way back to his 30. Ken Harvey was the first to get there.
He had no shot to throw that ball anywhere. There was excellent job by both corners. Chris Dishman working on Irvin Fryer, his #1 priority. Dishman's all over. Can't throw the ball there. Then you try the other side, you're going to try to get Michael Timpson working on Dow Green. Heck, Dow Green's just toying with him outside. Not even close.
Many teams going against these two outstanding cornerbacks don't even test them.
Well, then the third option would have been to look underneath, but Thibodeau had that one. There was no place to go with the ball.
Tom Hutton with the kick, and Brian Mitchell on the high kick from the 29. Brian Mitchell. What a terrific bit of running by Brian Mitchell as he carries it into Eagle territory, and a 30-yard return by number 30. And the Redskins with terrific field position when we come back.
By Miller Lite, now official beer sponsor of the NFL. By Dockers Khakis. Hey, nice pants. And by the Braun Flex Integro. Braun, smart thinking.
Brian Mitchell with a 30-yard punt return has gone over 2,000. I like the 007, Matt. In total yardage, rushing, receiving, and punt and kickoff return. First and 10 on the 40-yard line, and there is Stephen Davis getting a couple of yards, about 4 on the play.
You know, the other thing about Brian Mitchell is he does it with great enthusiasm, and he loves it too. I mean, he's also smart. So you see, watch the smile. See, now Brian Mitchell could have gone after any of 11 guys, but he picked this guy right here, the smallest and the kicker. He's smart.
And Brian Mitchell with 3 combined 2,000-yard years. Walter Payton and Eric Dickerson lead the parade. Second down and 6. Jeff Hostetler's pass is intercepted. Let's see if he held on. Oh, he did. It's an interception by Dawkins. And Brian Dawkins with the pick. The official making sure that Dawkins had possession of it. And Jeff Hostetler has thrown his second interception of the game.
That's a great play by Dawkins. And the ball, a nice anticipation, and he made the break. Actually, that's a poor job by Jamie Asher of working that safety or not working the safety. You have to get a push on it. Because he didn't get a push, just ran that out route. Hostetler tried to lead him, but Dawkins broke from underneath and came up with the pick.
So that's 6 picks thrown by Jeff Hostetler in the last 2 weeks. And Troy Vincent picking off his third, and Dawkins his third of the year. First and 10 at the 42 of the Eagles. Snuff out that bid by the Redskins. This pass is caught by Charlie Garner, to midfield to Jeff Hostetler. Has been intercepted in 2 of the last 3 passes he has thrown. The rest have been running games. Here's Haas, 36 years old, making his 3rd start. Remember, Gus Barat went out with a broken hip 4 games ago. 2nd down and 1 for the Eagles on the Redskins 49. And there's Garner, went into a brick wall named Kennard Lang.
Kennard Lang shows you a little bit of promise. You can see Indianapolis trying to come back here at 29-18. He's big, but he needs to get stronger. He's only about 280 pounds or so. He's 6'4". He plays way too high. I think what happened, he was playing very well, and then he had a really bad ear infection. And since that time, he's not gotten back to where he was early in the year.
A great experience, though, as the #1 pick starting most of the season.
Plus, he came out early as a junior. He's just a kid.
3rd down and 3, and Freddie Solomon with the 1st down to the 44-yard line of the Redskins. 6-yard slant from Bobby Hoying. We're in the 4th quarter, and there you see 2 tight ends coming in for the Eagles, Jason Dunn and Chad Lewis. Normally that spells a running play. Jack Kent Cooke Stadium on the final regular season Sunday. Here is Garner turning the corner, getting by Dishman and run out of bounds. Close to another 1st down, short by about a yard. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Washington Redskins and the NFL is prohibited. Dick Stockton, Matt Millen, Brett Haber is with us as well. Redskins need to win, and they need either the Vikings or Lions to lose today to get into the playoffs. 2nd down and 1. Garner dives for the 1st down to the 31 of Washington.
You know who's played himself a very good game for the Philadelphia Eagles? Jimmy Johnson, their tight end.
Yes.
He has been in there. He's got the one holding call on him, which I thought was a bad call, but he's enabled Charlie Garner, Deuce Staley to be able to get the corner virtually all game long. Generally speaking, when you have a tight end working on a defensive end, that's a matchup that your defensive end should win. But with Jimmy Johnson, he's been winning those matchups today.
Lines up on the wing to the left. Deuce Staley and the Redskins pursuing very well. Good lateral movement.
Now that time, Kelvin Kinney won the battle. It's exactly what I was just talking about. Jimmy Johnson had been kicking his rear end, but what happened is this time, Kelvin Kinney, right here, number 97, watch him get the push up the field. Boom, right? This is what should happen when you have a defensive end on a tight end. See, he effectively made the whole play. He didn't make the tackle, but he made the whole play.
2nd down and 10. Nearly 5 minutes gone by in the 4th quarter. Bobby Hoying's pass intended for Irving Pryor.
That's a bad read by Bobby Hoying and very dangerous throw. Had that been thrown properly, that was an interception. Stanley Richard was sitting right inside where he should have been. Watch him right up in here. They're going to try to attack him with the tight end, but Richard reads it properly, and now he's sitting right in the middle. And had that ball been thrown better, that was a pick going the other way, because Dishman used his help perfectly.
3rd down and 10 on the 31 of the Redskins. 4 wide receivers, 3 line up to the right. Darrell Pounds coming up, and Freddie Solomon is wrestled down. A big play by Liam on Evans, saving the 1st down. That was a fine open field tackle by Evans.
Evan, at this point in the game for the Philadelphia, you're going to go for it anyway. And that is a great job by Leomon Evans of seeing it and breaking on that ball. The ball's thrown. You see, he broke way before the ball was even thrown because he saw Solomon coming underneath. It'll set up 4th down, but the Philadelphia Eagles will go for it, and they should. 9.5 minutes left to go. Heck, it's the game.
Come on, you know, special.
Boying's pass, and it's caught by Turner. Kevin Turner with a first down. So the Eagles connect on 4th and 2 and get 9 yards in the bargain, and they move to 6, trailing by 11 and threatening here.
Watch this. See this? That's a great job by Irving Frye. Look what he's doing. See, that's a pick. P-I-C-K. Of course, it's illegal unless it's called. It's not called. Does a great job of just taking away the man who's in coverage on Turner. You bump him off, you get him outside, heck, that's like stealing.
John Gruden, the offensive coordinator for Philadelphia. 1st and 10, the pitch is to Garner. Charlie Garner cutting inside and is brought down after a gain of about 3 yards on the play. The Eagles, according to Ray Rhodes, said we want to finish up on a high note. We want to be the spoilers against the Redskins, and we finally want to win a road game. Coming into this one, the Eagles 0-6-1 on the road. Their one tie was against the Baltimore Ravens. Garner going over 100 yards for the 4th time in his career, and he loves doing it against the Redskins. 2nd down and 8. Boying with a quarterback draw. Let's see if it was a design draw. And he's short of the first down by a couple. And Darrell Green and Marcus Patton, as the umpire gets knocked to the turf.
That's Bob Wagner. That's a good tackle he made right there. You know, of all the referee positions, the toughest one is the umpire, who sits right back in here. You can see, and when the ball, when it comes, he has to step up. And see, he's looking the other way, and then Chris Zorich right here. See, you're right in the paint. You got to step up inside. That's the most physically demanding of all the positions, especially when Zorich sits in the kitchen.
3rd down and 2. It's a running play. Charlie Garner gets to the 1-yard line, and a 1st and goal coming up for the Eagles. Charlie Garner, who has gone over 100 yards, he has scored a Philadelphia touchdown, and now the Eagles threatening to turn this into a 4-point game.
Yeah, the offensive line's doing a nice job, but the other half of that quotient is really just poor tackling.
Look at by the Philadelphia's running yardage.
And we said at the start that if they were going to do anything, it had to come up front. They've gotten that part done.
1st and goal from the 1. Charlie Garner has his 2nd touchdown today, and the Eagles close the gap some more.
And they'll go for the 2-point conversion here.
3-point game.
They just took that offensive line with Jerry Kraft's working inside, Steve Everett, Jermaine Mayberry, Barrett Brooks. They just kept on pounding along with Joe Panos, and they've opened holes all game long.
They've done a good job because that's been a banged-up offensive line, especially the right side. So the Eagles 0 for 2 this year on 2-point conversion. Down by 5. Boying's pass caught by Freddie Solomon for the 2-point conversion. And the Eagles climb within 3, 28-25. The Redskins lead. We'll be right back.
Conversion, John Gruden, the offense. What they do is they'll take these guys down here and try to vacate this area. Run your defenders off. Run him here, here, and here. Then they take Solomon and run him all the way across the formation, trying to get back to that vacated area. That's really well conceived.
Eagles trailed the Redskins 28-25. Redskins at one point led 14-0, 21-7. Mostly a 2-touchdown advantage. Brian Mitchell on the return. Here's Brian Mitchell into Eagle territory, still going. And Brian Mitchell tackled by Willie Clark from behind at the 14-yard line. A 74-yard return by Mitchell.
Well, Ronnie Lott said it in the pregame show, and he couldn't have been more right. He said special teams with Brian Mitchell would be big for the Washington Redskins today. And just when you think they're down, when they have their backs up, here comes Brian Mitchell, and it's easy to see why he can yak all he wants. Because when you're this kind of a returner, you combine speed with smarts, toughness, and then just the physical part of running, Heck, you can yak all you want.
At the same token, Matt, special teams coverage has been one of the glaring weaknesses for the Eagles all year.
Yes, it has.
Redskins lead by 3, but threaten. First down on the Philadelphia 14. Here's Stephen Davis, and he's brought down by Greg Jefferson after a gain of 2. Well, it's nothing new that an Eagle-Redskin game with these two coaches going down to the wire. Let's take a look at their records in close games.
Wow.
The Eagles under Ray Rhodes 11-2-1 in games decided by 3 points or less. The other side of the coin, not impressive for Norv Turner, who is 3-15-1. Second down and 7. Hostetler's pass underneath to Westbrook and hit immediately, and that will bring up third down. Jeff Harrod covering. That was a gain of 5.
That short field, they jump your coverages real quick here. What you have the zones and that kind of thing. You need to go to a physical guy. And you can see the short field. Here's the field right here. I mean, effectively, what you're looking at is 8 yards. So you have to use a big physical guy, or you have to throw the fades to the outside. That guy is the same guy for Washington, and it's number 82, Michael Westbrook.
Third down and 3. Albert Connell, the rookie, goes in motion. A rollout and a pass. Caught. Touchdown, Westbrook.
Big physical guy, and they throw him to the top side. And they set it up. You see Matt Stevens working there. They set it up by where he was lined up. Just by the fact that he's lined up inside, you know you are going to get this to the outside. And Clark seemingly never was aware of it. He tried to take away the inside, almost like he had help to the top side. Michael Westbrook just ran to where no one was.
5th touchdown catch of his career, and all 5 of his catches for 58 yards have come here in the second half. So Michael Westbrook coming up big in the second half. Chris Jackie with the extra point is good, and the Redskins lead by 10. Jeff Hostetler with another touchdown pass. It's 35-25. Remaining in the fourth quarter, the Redskins by 10. Michael Westbrook trying to finish strong, and 3 plays, 14 yards, and it was Brian Mitchell with a 74-yard kickoff return. That set it up for the Redskins. Chris Jackie will kick off. Bailey and Gray are back, and it's going to be returned by the up man, Dunn. Jason Dunn up to the 40-yard line. With under 5 minutes to go, Chris Jackie bothered by a stiff back throughout the afternoon.
By the Washington Redskins. Willie Clark is locked on this guy. They go over, they bump their coverage. And so the safety sitting inside, they just run away to the outside of their coverage. Willie Clark, expecting help inside, really should have overplayed that wide receiver. Didn't get there, and Westbrook scored.
7-yard catch by Westbrook. Eagles with a first down on the 40-yard line. Bobby Hoying, the rookie from Ohio State, on a crossing pattern is Charlie Garner, who gets about 8 yards. So the meaning of this game, with the Minnesota Vikings up 36-21, a Redskin victory and a Viking victory, will not help the Washington cause. They then will have to hope that the Detroit Lions lose when they play against the New York Jets, and the fans invited to stay here at Jack Kent-Cooke Stadium and watch the Jet-Lion game on the Jumbotron after. That's going to be everything to watch.
It'll be the first time that the Redskin fans ever cheer for Bill Parcells.
2nd and 3. Deuce Staley breaks one and knocks Darryl Powell and a few of the Redskins back, and a first down in to Washington territory. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Dick and Matt, some of the veterans for the Cowboys haven't given up. That includes Emmitt Smith. But check this out, only his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, 6th rushing touchdown of the season for the team. Dallas being handled by the Giants. Back to Dick and Matt.
Thank you, JB. Giants trying to finish undefeated in the NFC East. Bobby Hoying is sacked. Ken Harvey And that is his second of the game, giving him 9.5 for the Pro Bowl linebacker.
Again, just going with speed and what we talked about, trying to get to the top side, and then this is a 5 to 7 step drop. Jumps to the inside, then come around. See, because of the deep drop, you can take that outer loop, but he set it up by jumping to the inside first. Hoying was looking deep down the field and went with that 7-step drop, which enabled Harvey to get to the corner.
Second down and 16. Here's Kevin Turner and Leamon Evans, who has made a couple of strong tackles in an open field, limits Turner to a 3-yard gain.
We'll say this for the Philadelphia Eagles. They came here. Nobody packed it in. Nope. They did not pack their bags. They came here and they're fighting.
I'm not surprised, are you?
No, not with Ray Rhodes. I'm a little biased with Ray. I mean, I'm a Ray Rhodes fan. I think he's a tough guy, and I think he gives toughness to his team.
Hard not to be a Ray Rhodes fan. Third down and 13. Hoying gets time, but he's down, and it's Greg Jones, rookie from Colorado.
You see how he had to pump? The reason he had to pump is there's no place to throw. Leamon Evans had coverage. Darrell Green had coverage. And there was just nowhere down the field to go with the ball, so he had to pull it down. He knew what he wanted to do. If he throws the ball, it's probably going to be knocked down or intercepted. So he had to pull the thing back down, and Greg Jones makes the sack.
Eagles are going to call a timeout. They have 4th down and 20. We'll be back.
What are you doing? You can't
Hey,
score
I
Pluto.
do not dabble when it comes to Scrabble. Watch me now.
You're getting on my
See,
nerves.
prolific, as in prolific score.
Imagine that. The Iceman spelling prolific.
Quite a coincidence.
Hey,
He's been in the playoffs the first 2 years in Philadelphia, but not this time. Norv Turner, who's never taken the Redskins to the playoffs in his first 3 years, and need a victory and help to get there for the first time. John Cook, the owner of the Redskins, looking on in the palace his dad built. 4th down and 20, and the Eagles going for it. They have to get to the Redskins' 31-yard line. Bobby Hoying got to go deep with this one, and the pass is caught, and Irving Pryor will get the first down. What a clutch play by the Eagles.
100% USDA choice man is Irving Pryor.
And the 2-minute warning with 1:53 showing on the clock. This was a gutty play. Catch and a first down. Irving Pryor is hurt. It is not good, and we're going to show you the replay, and it's not a pretty thing to watch.
Well, your body gets put in a lot of different positions. The good thing is he had enough presence to be able to bend back with it, so he wasn't going in any way that his body can't bend. Watch how he twists into it. See how he twists his back into it.
And we're going to take another timeout. Passes for 65 yards and that 24-yard catch, giving the Eagles a first down. But all the concern, and Darrell Green, many of the Redskins over there, they have a lot of respect for Irving Pryor, who is a true warrior. Pro Bowl selection this year. Looking to cash in and have the most catches of his career. 88 coming into this game. 88 in his career was the high. 82 coming into this game, and 4. And there you see the respect. And you may say the seriousness of the injury, seeing a lot of the white shirts around that huddle as well. Coming up next, to see Irving Pryor walking off.
Watch how he goes with it at the end. He knows he has the first down. It looks like it's going to be bad, but then he just continues to twist and goes with it. And that's that great kinesthetic sense, that body part awareness of knowing where you're at.
Eagles with a first down on the Redskins 28, trailing by 10. Under 2 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Bobby Hoying flips it underhanded to Kevin Turner. Darrell Pounds doesn't let go, and the ball is flipped out of bounds.
And that's a penalty.
Yes, it is.
And that's the right call. Under 2 minutes, He can't just throw the ball out like that to stop the clock.
Ron Blum. .142 on the clock. Turner just threw it out of bounds because he knew he couldn't stop the clock where he was.
Pass out of bounds, 5 yards from the spot of the foul.
See how he just give it the
little clever,
the old heave ho, but see, in effect, he did stop the clock, but I believe they're supposed to run 10 seconds off.
Yeah. 142 showing on the clock.
Wait a minute now, guys.
They got to run it.
Did you take it down?
These guys.
Did you take it down? Well, they started the clock.
Then it was effective. You give up the 5 yards to stop the clock. Who cares?
2nd and 12. Bobby Hoying flipped it, and a fine catch made by Deuce Staley. And the rookie gets inside the 10-yard line with 1:26 showing, and the Eagles call a timeout. That is their second timeout of the second half with 1:24 remaining in the fourth quarter. We'll be right back. Sunday for the Fox NFC wild card, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will host the game next Sunday against either the Lions, the Vikings, or the Redskins. Now, the Redskins have to hold on and win and hope Minnesota loses, but the Vikings are on their way to a victory over the Colts, or the Lions lose or tie against the Jets coming up in a game beginning at 4 o'clock Eastern. Coverage begins with the pregame show at 3:30 Eastern next Sunday, the wild card game on Fox. 1st and goal at the 9. The Eagles have one timeout remaining, down by 10. Bobby Hoying goes underneath, incomplete for Chris T. Jones. No flags are thrown. Good defense that time by Darrell Green.
You know, and had Bobby Hoying saw it fast, he had Deuce Staley out to his left flat for 6. Deuce Staley jumps up top. Watch right here. He turns it into a foot race if he has it on Marcus Patton.
Irving Fryer bruised both of his knees. Questionable as to whether he'll get back in. 2nd and goal at the 9 for the Eagles. Hoying, nowhere to go with it, and down he goes. It was Rich Owens. And that is the 6th sack of the game by the Redskins.
No place to throw the football. That's the problem. Jesse Campbell working inside on the tight end. Nothing there. And then you look to the top side, you're working Darrell Green. Darrell Pounds turns it back over. Solomon running clean underneath. And you're looking back outside with Timpson working on Chris Dishman. Nowhere, any place to throw the football. And so you look, you scramble, you pump, and then because of the coverage, you come up with a little bit of grass in your helmet. And go back to pass, you look the field over, and all you get is grass.
Eagles call their 3rd and final timeout. Bobby Hoying, who is chosen on the 3rd round in his 2nd year from Ohio State. He got off to a hot start, led the Eagles to victories against the Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals, and a 4th quarter tie against the Ravens. Struggled in his last 2 weeks, but he looks like he's a keeper.
Oh, I think so. I don't think there's any question. The thing that he's done wrong today has just been a matter of a young quarterback. That plus the fact that the coverage down the field, his receivers haven't been able to get open.
3rd and goal, stacked with the 14-yard line. Hoying's pass, caught, touchdown, Freddie Solomon. And the Eagles climb now, possibly to within 3. That was a 14-yard touchdown pass as Solomon beat Darrell Green, one of the few to do it against Green.
Working outside. Just turn Darrell Green around. Just turn him around. And a well-thrown ball. He had the protection. Knew where he wanted to go and came down with 6.
So the extra point, Bonio will attempt it. Solomon with the touchdown catch. And the kick is good, and now the Eagles will set up for an onside kick. with 1:09 remaining, trailing 35-32, and no timeouts remaining. But a fine route run by Freddie Solomon in his 3rd touchdown catch of the year. So it comes down to this, and there's Pete Rodriguez, the Redskins special teams coach, getting ready for the onside kick attempt. Again, we've got to tell you how these coaches have performed in close games. Ray Rhodes has had great success in games 3 points or less, and Norv Turner has struggled with only 3 wins in 19 games. But he's up now, 35-32.
Well, now you get your hands team. And the hands team is kind of deceiving because there's always a couple hammers on the hands team. You always have to have some guys who are going to take out that front line. And then you put your players with your best hands up in front. And there's one hand. There's one hammer right there. Marcus Patton is a guy, and then Derek Smith is the other. Their job is not to get the ball. Their job is to take out interference so the guys like Mitchell and Westbrook can get the ball.
This is where the game will be decided if the Redskins cover up on the onside kick. Bonio's attempt, and the Redskins get it. And with no timeouts left by the Eagles, that should do it.
You see how Marcus Patton and Derek Smith went right for the lead guys? That's good special teams. So you just take your 2 hammers and you run him at the front line because you don't want those guys to get down there first. Because conversely, the Eagles are sending guys to go ahead and attack. Watch Marcus Patton and Derek Smith. Their job is to go and break this up. See, they just have to go and attack the first guys they can. Boom. See, they do that because the Eagles are trying to do the same thing.
And it was Chris Thomas who made the recovery. And the Redskins will run out the clock. Today's game was produced by Richard Zients and directed by Artie Kempner. Our associate producer is Larry Lancaster, and our broadcast associates are Greg Scopatoni and Jacob Ullman. The studio was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. We also want to thank Joe Band, who has been great on all our visits to Washington, and his mother Esther Band celebrating her 86th birthday as the Washington Redskins did their part today, and now will need help. The way it looks, they have to hope that the Detroit Lions lose or tie against the Jets in a game coming up, and it comes down to that. They did not control their own destiny today, man.
I got to tell you, take my hats off to Ray Rhodes and the effort his group gave down here today. Save those points off of turnovers. This game goes the other way.
So the Redskins will finish 8-7-1. The Eagles 6-9-1. And right now, let's go down on the field with Brett Haber, who's with Norv Turner.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Norv, you did your part. You did what you had to do. Of course, the Vikings have their game well in hand, as I know you know from watching the scoreboard. How frustrating now for you to have to sit back and watch somebody else control your fate?
Well, we knew we were in this spot. The one thing I just feel good about, our guys came out and played. They really responded, and that's a team win. Hey, you sack, fumbles, score. Brian Mitchell returns. The offensive group, I thought they competed hard.
The defensive secondary has been the strength of this defensive team all year. Today, Dishman and Green both come up with big plays on turnovers. I know Darrell Green's going to the Pro Bowl, but I also know you feel both of them could go.
Well, you can't separate the two. Dishman's a great player. They're both great players. Darrell has a long interception return. Darrell Pounds has a sack fumble. Our guy just came up with big plays.
All right, time now to just watch the Lions and Jets. Norv Turner, congratulations. Let's send it back upstairs to Dick Stock.
All right, Brett, and our Energizer play of the game was Darrell Green's 83-yard interception for touchdown. His first interception of the season as the Redskins with 6 sacks, and the Eagles turning it over 3 times. This was one of them, as the first 2 touchdowns were defensive scores. So for Matt Millen, Dick Stockton saying so long. With final score, the Redskins 35, the Eagles 32. And when we come back, we'll have the NASDAQ Stock Market post-game report. So long from Jack Kent Cook Stadium as the Redskins finish with a win over the Eagles, 35-32.